Let me ask you something, and I want you to answer honestly. What is the first thought that comes to your mind when you hear the word rich? Did you think of something positive, or did something negative flash through your mind? Did you think of freedom and possibility, or did you think of greed and corruption? Did you think that could be me, or did you think that is not for people like me? Whatever you just thought, that thought is the reason you are where you are financially. Not your job, not your education, not your circumstances. Your thoughts about money are creating your financial reality, and they have been doing it your entire life without you even knowing it. This audiobook is going to expose every money lie your brain is running and replace it with the truth. The truth that wealthy people figured out a long time ago. By the time you finish listening, your relationship with money will never be the same. Full audiobook script. Introduction, the program you never chose. You have a relationship with money. You might not think about it that way, but you do. It is one of the most important relationships in your life, and like all relationships, it was shaped by your past. Specifically, it was shaped by what you saw, heard, and experienced around money during your most impressionable years. If you grew up in a household where money was scarce, where there was constant stress about bills, where your parents argued about finances, where you heard phrases like "we cannot afford that," and money does not grow on trees and rich people are greedy, then your brain absorbed all of that. It absorbed the stress. It absorbed the scarcity. It absorbed the belief that money is hard to get and even harder to keep. It absorbed the idea that wanting money makes you a bad person. These absorbed messages became your money program, your default operating system for how you think about earn, spend, save, and relate to money. And this program has been running in the background of your mind ever since, silently, automatically, shaping every financial decision you make without your conscious awareness. This is why you can read every money book on the planet and still be broke. This is why you can know exactly what you should be doing financially and still not do it. This is why you can work incredibly hard and still end up with nothing to show for it at the end of the month. The problem is not your knowledge. The problem is not your work ethic. The problem is your program. You are running a poverty program in your mind and expecting wealthy results. That is like installing software for a calculator and expecting it to edit video. The output will never exceed the capacity of the program. And right now your program is set to struggle. This audiobook is going to change that. We are going to go into the operating system of your financial mind, and we are going to uninstall the poverty program piece by piece. Then we are going to install a new program, the money mind, the same mental software that wealthy people run. The same beliefs, the same habits, the same thought patterns that produce financial abundance as a natural and predictable result. This is not about getting rich quick. This is not about some magic formula for overnight wealth. This is about fundamentally changing the way your brain processes money so that over time wealth flows toward you instead of away from you. Because that is what happens when you have the right program running. Money flows toward people with the money mind the same way water flows downhill. It is not magic. It is not luck. It is the natural result of having the right mental software installed. Let us begin the installation. Chapter 1, the Poverty Program. Before we install the money mind, we need to fully understand the poverty program that is currently running. We need to see it clearly so we can identify every piece of it and remove it completely. Because if you install the money mind on top of the old poverty program, the two will conflict, and the poverty program will win every time. It has been running longer. It is more deeply embedded. It will override the new programming unless it is removed first. The poverty program is made up of beliefs, specific beliefs about money that you absorbed during childhood and have been operating on ever since. Let me list the most common ones, and as I do, pay attention to which ones trigger a reaction in you. The ones that trigger the strongest reaction are the ones that are most deeply embedded in your programming. The first belief is money is hard to make. This belief says that earning money requires brutal, exhausting struggle, that every dollar must be fought for, that there is never enough no matter how hard you work. If you carry this belief, you will unconsciously create situations that confirm it. You will find yourself in jobs that underpay you. You will avoid opportunities that could earn you more because deep down you believe that more money means more struggle, and you are already struggling enough. The second belief is rich people are bad. This belief says that wealthy people are greedy, corrupt, dishonest, or morally inferior, that they got their money by exploiting others, that being rich means being a bad person. If you carry this belief, you will unconsciously sabotage your own wealth because your brain has linked money with being a bad person. And since you want to be a good person, your brain will make sure you never have too much money. The third belief is I do not deserve to be wealthy. This belief says that wealth is for other people, smarter people, luckier people, more connected people, more talented people, not you. If you carry this belief, you will unconsciously push away every opportunity for wealth that comes your way. You will undercharge for your services. You will accept less than you are worth. You will sabotage yourself right when financial success is within reach. The fourth belief is money changes people for the worse. This belief says that if you get money, you will become someone you do not want to be, that money will corrupt you, that it will ruin your relationships, that it will make you arrogant or isolated or shallow. If you carry this belief, you will avoid wealth because you are afraid of what it will do to you. The fifth belief is wanting money is selfish. This belief says that desiring financial abundance is greedy or materialistic, that good people should not care about money, that focusing on money means you do not care about more important things like family relationships and spiritual growth. If you carry this belief, you will feel guilty every time you try to earn more, and that guilt will sabotage your efforts. The sixth belief is there is not enough to go around. This belief says that wealth is a fixed pie, that if someone has more, someone else must have less, that making money means taking it from others. If you carry this belief, you will feel conflicted about earning because you believe your gain is someone else's loss. These beliefs are not truth, none of them. They are programs that were installed by well-meaning people who were themselves running poverty programs. Your parents did not teach you these beliefs because they were true. They taught you these beliefs because someone taught them the same beliefs. It is generational programming. Poverty thinking passed down from parent to child like a mental virus infecting each new generation. The first step to breaking the chain is recognizing that these beliefs are programs, not facts. They are software, not reality, and software can be uninstalled. Chapter 2: How Wealthy People Think. If poverty is a program, then wealth is also a program. And the best way to install the wealth program is to study how wealthy people actually think, not what they do with their money, how they think about money, because the doing flows from the thinking. Change the thinking and the doing changes automatically. The first way wealthy people think differently is that they see money as a tool, not as a goal. Most people chase money for the sake of having money. Wealthy people see money as a tool that creates freedom, options, and impact. They do not worship money. They use money. The way a carpenter uses a hammer. The hammer is not the point. What you build with it is the point. This distinction is critical because it changes your emotional relationship with money. When money is the goal, you become desperate. You make fear-based decisions. You cling to every dollar. You become stressed and anxious about money all the time. When money is a tool, you become strategic. You make rational decisions. You invest confidently. You see money as something that works for you rather than something you work for. The second way wealthy people think differently is that they focus on value creation, not time trading. Most people earn money by trading their time for a paycheck. They give an employer 40 hours a week and receive a fixed amount in return. The problem with this model is that your time is finite. There are only so many hours in a week, so your income has a hard ceiling. Wealthy people think differently. They ask, how can I create value for the largest number of people possible? Because money flows to those who create value. And the more people you create value for, the more money flows to you. A person who solves a problem for one person earns one payment. A person who solves a problem for 1 million people earns 1 million payments. Same effort in many cases. Wildly different result. The difference is not harder work. It is smarter thinking about how value is created and delivered. The third way wealthy people think differently is that they think in terms of assets, not income. Most people focus on how much money they make per month. Wealthy people focus on how many assets they own that generate money whether they work or not. An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket without requiring your active time and effort. A business that runs without you. An investment that pays dividends. A property that generates rent. Intellectual property that earns royalties. The wealthy person asks, how can I acquire or create assets that generate income while I sleep? The poor person asks, how can I get a raise at my job? The wealthy person is building a machine that produces money. The poor person is being a part of someone else's machine. The fourth way wealthy people think differently is that they see failure as education, not as identity. When a poor person fails, they say, I am a failure. When a wealthy person fails, they say, that did not work, so now I know what to try next. This difference in interpretation is enormous. The poor person stops trying because failure has become part of their identity. The wealthy person keeps trying because failure is just data. It is information about what does not work which brings them closer to what does work. The fifth way wealthy people think differently is that they invest in themselves first. Before they invest in stocks or real estate or business, they invest in their own knowledge, skills, and mindset. They read voraciously. They attend events. They hire coaches and mentors. They pay for education. They understand that the highest return investment they can make is in their own capability, because their capability is the engine that drives everything else. The sixth way wealthy people think differently is that they think long-term. Poor people think about today. What can I buy today? What can I enjoy today? What feels good right now? Wealthy people think about decades. What will this decision look like in 10 years? What am I building that will compound over time? What sacrifice today will produce enormous returns in the future? This long-term thinking is what enables wealthy people to delay gratification, to say no to the short-term pleasure in favor of the long-term payoff, to invest money instead of spending it, to work on a business for years before it becomes profitable, to make decisions that look boring or even painful in the short term, but produce extraordinary results over the long term. These are not just financial strategies. They are ways of thinking, mental programs that run automatically in the minds of wealthy people and produce wealthy results. Install these programs in your own mind, and they will produce the same results, not because of magic, because of mathematics. The math of value creation, asset building, and compound growth is the same for everyone. The only variable is whether your mental programming allows you to execute it. Chapter 3: Uninstalling the Scarcity Mindset. The most destructive piece of the poverty program is the scarcity mindset. Scarcity thinking is the belief that there is not enough money, not enough opportunity, not enough time, not enough resources, not enough of anything. Scarcity thinking infects every area of your financial life. It makes you hoard money instead of investing it. It makes you afraid to spend money on things that would grow your income. It makes you jealous of other people's success instead of inspired by it. It makes you competitive instead of collaborative. It makes you desperate instead of strategic. The scarcity mindset also creates a specific kind of stress that is literally toxic to wealth creation. When your brain is in scarcity mode, it activates the threat detection system, the same system that activates when you are in physical danger. Your brain floods with cortisol, the stress hormone. Your thinking becomes narrow and short-term. Your ability to see opportunity, creativity, and possibility is suppressed. You become focused entirely on survival. And survival thinking cannot produce wealth. Survival thinking can only produce more survival, more scraping by, more barely making it, more stress about money. It is a closed loop that feeds on itself. To uninstall the scarcity mindset, you need to replace it with the abundance mindset. And the abundance mindset is not about pretending you have money you do not have. It is not about being delusional about your current financial situation. It is about changing the lens through which you see money and opportunity. The abundance mindset says there is more than enough wealth in the world for everyone. It says that money is not a fixed pie where one person's gain is another person's loss. It says that wealth can be created, not just redistributed. It says that opportunities are everywhere if you have the eyes to see them. Practically, the shift from scarcity to abundance starts with how you talk about money. Stop saying, "I cannot afford that." Start saying, "How can I afford that?" The first statement shuts down your brain. It is a conclusion, a dead end. The second statement opens up your brain. It is a question, an invitation for your mind to start problem solving and looking for solutions. Stop saying there is no opportunity. Start saying, "I have not found the right opportunity yet." Stop saying money is hard to make. Start saying money flows to people who create value, and I am learning to create more value every day. These are not just word games. They are commands to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind takes language literally. Feed it scarcity language and it produces scarcity results. Feed it abundance language and it produces abundance results. The shift also requires changing what you focus on. The scarcity mindset focuses on what you do not have. The abundance mindset focuses on what you do have and what you can build. Every day, deliberately focus on the resources, the skills, the knowledge, and the opportunities that are available to you right now. Not what is missing, what is present. This shifts your brain out of threat mode and into opportunity mode. And opportunity mode is where wealth is created. Chapter 4, The Value Equation. Here is the most important financial principle you will ever learn. Your income is a direct reflection of the value you provide to the marketplace, not the time you put in, not the effort you exert, not the education you have, the value you provide. This principle is simple, but its implications are profound, because it means that the fastest way to increase your income is not to work more hours. It is to increase the value you provide. Value is determined by two factors. The first is what problem you solve. The second is how many people you solve it for. If you solve a small problem for a few people, you earn a small income. If you solve a big problem for a few people, you earn a moderate income. If you solve a small problem for many people, you earn a good income. If you solve a big problem for many people, you earn a massive income. This is the value equation. Problem size multiplied by audience size equals income. Most people are stuck at the first level, solving small problems for a few people. They are trading their time for money in a job that does not create much value. They earn just enough to survive, and they wonder why they cannot get ahead. The path forward is to move up the value equation. Either solve a bigger problem or reach more people, or ideally both. Solving a bigger problem means developing skills and expertise that address significant needs. The person who can fix a leaky faucet creates some value. The person who can design the plumbing system for an entire building creates more value. The person who can create a software system that manages plumbing for thousands of buildings creates enormous value. Same general domain. Different levels of problem solving. Dramatically different income. Reaching more people means finding ways to deliver your value at scale. If you are a personal trainer and you train one person at a time, you are limited to the number of hours in your day. If you create an online training program, you can reach thousands of people with the same knowledge. If you build a fitness app, you can reach millions. Your value per person might actually be less, but the total value you create is exponentially greater, and your income reflects that. The money mind is always asking two questions. How can I become more valuable, and how can I deliver that value to more people? These two questions are the engine of wealth creation. If you ask them consistently and act on the answers, your income will grow. Not linearly, but exponentially. Because value and reach compound the same way money compounds. Small increases in value and reach produce massive increases in income over time. Chapter 5. The Income Architecture. Wealthy people do not have one source of income. They have multiple sources. This is not a luxury. It is a strategy, a deliberate architectural decision about how their financial life is structured. Most people have one income stream, their job. If that job disappears, so does their entire income. They are one layoff, one illness, one economic downturn away from financial devastation. This is not financial security. This is financial fragility disguised as stability. The money mind thinks about income differently. It thinks about income the way an architect thinks about a building. You do not build a skyscraper on a single pillar. You build it on multiple pillars so that if one is damaged, the building still stands. Your financial life should be built the same way. The first pillar is your active income. This is money you earn through your direct effort, your job or your business. This is the pillar most people already have. The goal is not to eliminate this pillar, but to make it stronger by increasing the value you provide and earning more from it. The second pillar is your skill income. This is money you earn from specific skills you have developed that you can monetize outside of your primary job. Writing, design, consulting, teaching, coaching, programming, speaking. Any skill that other people will pay for. Developing a monetizable skill and offering it to the market creates a second income stream that is independent of your job. The third pillar is your asset income. This is money that comes from assets you own, investments that pay dividends, property that generates rent, a business that runs without your daily involvement, content that earns royalties, digital products that sell while you sleep. Asset income is the most powerful pillar because it does not require your time. It works for you around the clock. The fourth pillar is your growth income. This is money that comes from the appreciation of assets you own, the increase in value of your investments, your property, your business, or any other asset over time. Growth income is not realized until you sell the asset, but it is constantly building your net worth in the background. The money mind is always working on building and strengthening these pillars. It is always looking for ways to add new income streams. It is always asking, what skill can I develop that the market will pay for? What asset can I create or acquire that will generate passive income? What investment can I make today that will grow in value over time? You do not need to build all four pillars at once. Start with the one that is most accessible to you right now. If you have a skill that others would pay for, start there. Offer it to the market even on a small scale. If you can save enough to make a small investment, start there. The size of the first step does not matter. What matters is that you begin to shift your financial architecture from a single fragile pillar to multiple strong pillars. Over time, as each pillar grows and strengthens, your financial life becomes more stable, more resilient, and more abundant. You are no longer dependent on a single source. You have options, and options are the definition of financial freedom. Chapter 6. The Spending Trap. The poverty program does not just affect how you earn money. It affects how you spend it. And for most people, the spending habits created by the poverty program are silently destroying any chance of building wealth. There are two types of spending: consumption spending and investment spending, and the ratio between these two determines your financial trajectory. Consumption spending is spending on things that lose value the moment you buy them, or that provide temporary pleasure but no lasting return. The latest phone when your current one works fine. Designer clothes you buy to impress people. Eating out every day instead of cooking. Subscription services you barely use. Impulse purchases that give you a brief hit of dopamine and then sit in a drawer unused. Investment spending is spending on things that increase in value over time or that increase your ability to earn money. Education that develops a new skill. Tools that make you more productive. A course that teaches you how to build a business. Books that expand your thinking. Equipment that allows you to create something of value. Investment spending puts money into things that generate a return either directly or indirectly. The poverty program makes you a consumption spender. It makes you spend money to feel good in the moment. It makes you buy things to signal status to people who do not care about you. It makes you confuse spending with success and consumption with happiness. The money mind makes you an investment spender. It makes you ask before every purchase, will this make me more money or cost me money? Will this increase my value or decrease my bank account? Is this an investment or an expense? This does not mean you never enjoy your money. It does not mean you live like a monk and deny yourself every pleasure. It means you are strategic about how you allocate your resources. You prioritize investments that grow your wealth and you minimize expenses that drain it. And when you do spend on enjoyment, you do it consciously and intentionally, not impulsively and emotionally. The shift from consumption spending to investment spending is one of the most powerful financial changes you can make. It does not require earning more money. It requires redirecting the money you already have. And the compound effect of this redirection over years and decades is staggering. The money that would have been consumed and lost is instead invested and grown. And invested money does not just sit there. It multiplies. It compounds. It works for you around the clock, building your wealth even while you sleep. Chapter 7, The Fear of Money. Here is something that most people will never admit. They are afraid of money. Not afraid of not having money, afraid of having it. This sounds contradictory, but it is incredibly common. Many people who say they want to be wealthy are actually terrified of wealth at a subconscious level. And this terror sabotages their financial progress without them ever understanding why. The fear of money takes several forms. The first form is the fear of judgment. If I become wealthy, people will judge me. They will think I am greedy. They will think I changed. They will resent me. They will treat me differently. This fear keeps people playing small financially because they are more afraid of social judgment than they are of financial struggle. The second form is the fear of loss. If I build wealth, I could lose it all, and losing it would be more painful than never having it in the first place. This fear prevents people from investing, from taking financial risks, and from building anything of financial significance. They choose the certainty of mediocrity over the possibility of wealth, because the possibility of wealth comes with the possibility of loss. The third form is the fear of responsibility. If I have more money, I will have more responsibility, more decisions to make, more things to manage, more complexity in my life. This fear keeps people in financial simplicity, which is really financial limitation, because they are afraid of the demands that wealth would place on them. The fourth form is the fear of exposure. If I become wealthy, people will pay more attention to me. They will scrutinize me. They will expect more from me. I will be more visible, and visibility feels dangerous. This fear keeps people financially invisible, which means financially insignificant. The fifth form is the fear of unworthiness. Deep down at the core level, some people simply do not believe they deserve to be wealthy. They believe wealth is for other people, better people, more deserving people. And this belief creates a glass ceiling that no amount of strategy or effort can break through. If any of these fears resonated with you, then you have found a piece of the poverty program that needs to be uninstalled. Because as long as you are afraid of money, you will unconsciously push it away. You will sabotage opportunities. You will undercharge for your work. You will avoid the actions that would build wealth. You will find ways to spend or lose whatever money you do accumulate. The way to overcome these fears is not to ignore them. It is to face them directly, acknowledge the fear, name it, understand where it came from, and then challenge it with logic and evidence. Are all wealthy people judged negatively? No, many are admired, respected, and loved. Does having wealth guarantee losing it? No, people who build wealth through financial intelligence tend to keep and grow it. Does wealth create unmanageable responsibility? No, wealth creates options and you can choose how much complexity you want. Does visibility guarantee scrutiny? No, And even if it did, the benefits of financial freedom far outweigh the discomfort of attention. Do you deserve wealth? Yes. Every person who is willing to create value and serve others deserves to be compensated abundantly for that service. Replace the fears with these truths. Repeat them. Act on them. And over time, the fears will dissolve and the money mind will operate without the brakes that have been slowing you down your entire financial life. Chapter 8, The Wealth Identity. The deepest and most permanent change you can make in your financial life is not learning a new strategy or developing a new skill. It is changing your financial identity. It is changing who you believe you are in relation to money. Right now, you have a financial identity, a set of beliefs about who you are financially, and that identity has a number attached to it, a number that represents how much money your identity says you deserve to have. If your financial identity says you are a person who earns $50,000 a year, then no matter what you do, your income will hover around $50,000. You might spike above it temporarily through a bonus or a side project, but you will always drift back to the number your identity has set. You will spend the extra money. You will sabotage the side project. You will find a way to return to the financial thermostat your identity has established. This is why some lottery winners go broke within a few years. Their financial identity was set to a low number. They suddenly received millions, but their identity did not change. So their behavior unconsciously adjusted to bring their bank account back in line with their identity. They spent recklessly. They made terrible investments. They gave away money to anyone who asked. And eventually they were right back where their identity said they belonged. To build lasting wealth, you must upgrade your financial identity. You must become someone who sees themselves as a wealth builder, someone who believes they deserve abundance, someone who identifies as financially intelligent and capable. This upgrade happens the same way all identity upgrades happen, through repeated thought and consistent action. Start by declaring your new financial identity. I am a person who builds wealth. I am a person who makes smart financial decisions. I am a person who creates value and is compensated generously for it. I am a person whose net worth grows every single month. Then back up those declarations with action. Every financial decision you make throughout the day is either confirming or contradicting your new financial identity. When you invest instead of consume, you confirm it. When you negotiate for higher pay, you confirm it. When you develop a new monetizable skill, you confirm it. When you create a new income stream, you confirm it. And every time you confirm your new financial identity, it gets stronger. The thermostat adjusts upward. The number attached to your identity increases, and your financial reality expands to match. This is not an overnight process. Financial identity shifts take time, but they are permanent when they happen. Because once your identity says, I am a person who builds wealth, you cannot act against that identity without feeling internal conflict. And that conflict drives you back toward wealth-building behavior the same way the old identity used to drive you back toward financial struggle. Chapter 9, The Compound Machine. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether or not he actually said it, the sentiment is absolutely true. Compound growth is the most powerful force in wealth creation, and it is available to everyone. But almost nobody uses it because it requires the one thing the poverty program prevents: patience. Compound growth works like this. When you invest money, it earns a return. When you reinvest that return instead of spending it, the return earns its own return. And then the return on the return earns a return, and so on. Over time, this creates exponential growth that starts slowly and then accelerates dramatically. The numbers are staggering. If you invest a small amount consistently every month and leave it untouched for 20 or 30 years, the compound growth turns modest contributions into enormous wealth. Not through luck, not through risk, through the simple mathematical reality of compounding. But here is why most people never benefit from compound growth. They cannot wait. The poverty program demands instant gratification. It says spend now and worry later. It says you deserve to enjoy your money today. It says investing is for rich people. And so the money that could be compounding and growing is instead consumed and gone forever. The money mind understands that time is the most important ingredient in the compound machine. The earlier you start, the more powerful the compounding becomes. Every year you delay is a year of compounding you lose forever. You cannot get it back. The money you do not invest at 25 can never be recovered, even if you invest 10 times as much at 45. Because the money invested at 25 had 20 extra years to compound. And those 20 years are where the real magic happens. This understanding creates a sense of urgency in the money mind. Not panic, urgency. The urgency to start now, to invest something today even if it is small, to begin the compound machine immediately because every day it is not running is a day of growth you will never recover. Start the machine, feed it consistently, and then do the hardest thing of all, leave it alone, do not touch it, do not withdraw it, do not interrupt the compounding, let it run, let time do its work. Let the math do what math does. 20 years from now, you will look at what the compound machine has built, and you will not believe it started with such small contributions. That is the power of compound growth, and it is available to you right now today if you have the money mind to use it. Chapter 10, The Wealth Ritual. Knowledge without action is worthless. You can understand every concept in this audiobook and still remain broke if you do not implement what you have learned. So let me give you a daily practice, a wealth ritual, that will keep the money mind active and growing. Every morning, spend 5 minutes reviewing your financial identity. Remind yourself who you are becoming financially. Read your declarations. Visualize your financial future. See yourself building wealth with calm confidence. Feel the emotions of financial freedom. This morning review primes your brain to make wealth-aligned decisions throughout the day. Every day, ask yourself one question. What is one thing I can do today to create more value or build more wealth? Just one thing. It might be learning a new skill. It might be reaching out to a potential client. It might be investing a small amount. It might be cutting an unnecessary expense. It might be working on a side project. One action per day. 365 wealth-building actions per year. That is how fortunes are built. Every week, review your finances. Know your numbers. Know how much you earned. Know how much you spent. Know how much you invested. Know your net worth. Most people avoid looking at their financial reality because it makes them uncomfortable. The money mind looks at reality clearly because you cannot improve what you do not measure. Every month, invest in your financial education. Read a book about money. Listen to a podcast about wealth building. Study someone who has built the kind of financial life you want. Learn one new concept or strategy each month. Over a year, that is 12 new pieces of financial knowledge. Over a decade, that is 120. This accumulated knowledge compounds just like money does. Every year, set a new financial target that is higher than the previous year. Not dramatically higher, just higher. Stretch your financial identity incrementally. Push the thermostat up by a degree. And then take the actions needed to reach that target. Year after year, the target grows. Year after year, your income and net worth grow with it. This wealth ritual is not complicated. It does not require hours of your day. It requires minutes. But those minutes practiced consistently over years will produce a financial transformation that most people would consider impossible. It is not impossible, it is inevitable for anyone who has the money mind installed and running. Closing. Your financial future starts in your mind. Everything you have heard in this audiobook comes down to one truth. Your financial life is a reflection of your financial mind. Change the mind and you change the life. Keep the old program running and you keep getting the old results. Install the new program and you start getting new results. The poverty program was not your fault. You did not choose it. It was installed by people who did not know any better, running programs that were installed by people who did not know any better. It is a chain of financial ignorance stretching back generations. But now you know better. Now you have seen the program for what it is. Now you understand how it works and how it has been working against you. And now you have the tools to uninstall it and replace it with something infinitely more powerful. The money mind is not about greed. It is about freedom. The freedom to live life on your terms. The freedom to take care of the people you love. The freedom to pursue work that matters to you. The freedom to give generously. The freedom to never worry about bills again. The freedom to wake up every morning and know that your financial future is secure and growing. That freedom is available to you, not someday. Now, the installation begins now. With the next thought you think about money, with the next financial decision you make, with the next dollar you earn or spend or invest. Make it count, because from this moment forward, you are not running the poverty program anymore. You are running the money mind. And the money mind builds wealth.